Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin reacted again to our trend line and is currently following that micro count I shared with you in the last video, but it's not really following through much. But you can see how much of an effect that small move that Bitcoin did today had on the altcoins and on Ethereum. One of the reasons why my altcoin positions are rather small at the moment, and I mainly focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum because it's, in my opinion, not an altcoin market. Yeah, it's just unstable at the moment. And as you know, all these altcoin setups we've been tracking, these potentials for higher, which can still work out, absolutely. They have, I think all of them have just been diagonals. I mean, all these potential wave ones. And as explained, they are less reliable than typically an impulse, which is what Bitcoin is doing. Okay, so yeah, that's why we want to focus on what's clear mainly. Still covering obviously the altcoins, but you can see what effect it has when Bitcoin is having a bad day. In the end, Bitcoin is finally coming down lower, not low enough yet really. I'd like to see that wave 3 here. So by the way, we're obviously talking about the white wave count, which is still the leading wave count. I explained to you there's two possibilities in the leading wave count, in that white wave count. Either we're coming down directly or we make a higher B wave, but in both scenarios, eventually another lower low in the yellow support area expected. I would like to take the yellow wave count off the chart. I might be able to do that later today or early tomorrow. I will do that below 29,000. That is only marked with question marks anyway, and it is the count that needs to prove itself. It is one that I don't believe until I see it. So primarily still lower lows expected here in this wave 2 correction. Now, it seems like, but it's not confirmed yet, it will be below 29K. Seems like Bitcoin wants to follow that direct micro wave count I showed you in the last video, in which Bitcoin already completed a wave 1, a wave 2, reacted here to the trend line of the descending broadening wedge and the retracement zone up here, the resistance zone, could now be in a third wave. Now, the thing is, ideal target for the third wave, it's still quite a distance to go. We're looking for at least the 1-to-1 ratio at 28,500, yeah, at least. Ideally lower, ideally the 1.618 extension in a third wave. I don't think we're going to get that. But in the end, bigger picture, the 1-to-1 ratio is really what I'd like to see at least. And it's good if it doesn't come down too low, because that would really hurt a lot of the bullish altcoin scenarios as well as Ethereum. Bitcoin should come down lower, ideally below 29K. The downside momentum is going to increase. And yeah, I would be watching 28.5K and then 28,320. Potentially both relevant targets for the third wave. Then we should get a wave 4 and a wave 5. So Bitcoin has quite a bit of work to do to fulfill this micro count. Let's see if it follows through. It hasn't fully done that yet. Ideally, it's doing that now with that latest drop today. Ethereum is already making its way to lower lows in the yellow support area. Also on the ETH chart, we wanted that, but Bitcoin is still very stubborn. You can see how relevant that support area is. So yeah, ideally we see more movement. That will really hurt the altcoins most likely. But again, as I said, even at the moment, a higher B wave is still possible until it breaks below 29K. To get a higher B wave, we need to see a break above 29,990 to confirm that. Again, nothing I primarily look for until we get that break, especially not with the latest drop. Yeah, due to the latest drop here, I think the direct follow through downside to the downside has become more likely. But yeah, and eventually it should follow through with 5 waves. Bear in mind, there is this trend line coming along here, the ascending trend line that has been with Bitcoin for a while now. Here, reaction to the trend line in June. Here, reaction to the trend line in March. Here, several reactions to the trend line in January. So I would pay attention to that. I know how unreliable trend lines can be, and it might very well break. I would not overemphasize that. If we break below that trend line, we still have our Fibonacci supports. I find these more important because they are tied to sentiment. They are related to market sentiment. And as long as we're holding 26,280, and as long as we don't get a sustained break below that level, we're counting the move of the 15th of June low as a wave 1 up and a wave 2 down, in which the way it's looking at the moment, yeah, the A wave was done, the B wave already, and we're now coming down in the C wave. But as I said, because it's not really following through fully yet, it could still do that higher B wave. I just have to highlight that because that's just part of the uncertainty of the market. But if we see a little bit lower and go below 29K, then we are looking here at the direct downside path. First of all, 28.5, 28.3K, and then maybe even a little lower to complete with that fifth wave here. If we look at Fibonacci extensions and look at the targets, if we take the length of the A wave, go to the high of the B wave, well, then you can see the 61.8 extension, which is also a relevant target, not that common one. That would take us to 28,150. That would be the fifth wave here, pretty much where the trend line might land. And below that, we've got the 1-to-1 ratio. That's more in the region just below 27K, then still in the yellow box though. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.